Point 2. Chasing stories and adventures. You know how sometimes you just want to chase a good story? Well, one night back in the early 2010s, Dolly found herself in a bit of a wild situation. It was around 2 a.m. when she walked into a minicab office, tipsy and determined, asking for a ride to Leamington Spa. The cab drivers couldn't help but laugh. Not because she was drunk, though she definitely was, but because Leamington Spa is almost 100 miles away from where she was in London. Dolly insisted she was serious. She had been drinking for over 12 hours, starting with wine in a friend's garden and then searching for a party that never happened. After a long night of wandering around Oxford Street, she ended up back at her flat in Finsbury Park, but she wasn't ready to call it a night. So, she started calling everyone in her phone. Will, a guy she had a crush on from university, picked up. He was also out and about, and even though he lived in Leamington Spa, they both thought, why not? Dolly was so tipsy that she even mixed up Oxford Street with Oxford City, thinking it was closer than it really was. The cab ride would cost £200, but she had cash for half and convinced Will to cover the rest when she got there. By the time she arrived at Will's place at 5 a.m., she was only halfway sober. They spent the morning hanging out, smoking weed, and just enjoying each other's company until they both crashed until the afternoon. Dolly had always dreamed of being an adult, filled with romance and adventures. In college, she found friends who loved collecting wild stories just like her. But after graduation, she noticed her friends were settling down, focusing on careers and relationships, while she was still chasing after crazy experiences. It took her a while to realize that those wild nights were just pieces of a bigger story. Now, looking back, she can see the lessons she learned and where true romance was hiding. When she finally woke up at 3 p.m., her phone was buzzing with worried messages from friends, and her bank account was in trouble. One friend, Sophie, even booked her a long bus ticket home, hoping it would give Dolly time to think. But that plan went sideways when Dolly made friends with a hen party on the bus and ended up doing tequila shots all the way back. When Sophie picked her up at the bus station, Dolly was drunk again and wearing a sombrero. At that point, self-reflection was the last thing on her mind. But that would come later.